So, does the Bible actually say that the Pope is the Antichrist? No, of course not. Not in so many words. After all, it is rather solid church tradition that the very first bishop of Rome was St. Peter himself. You know, the fellow who took along a believing wife with him when he journeyed, and the man who wrote that he was a fellow elder, the same fellow who in 1 Peter 5 also absolutely forbade any elder lording it over the church. And it wasn't long after Peter died that the papacy began to change some, and in a lot of ways, not for the good. Let's connect the dots. The Bible does indicate in the book of Revelation that the Antichrist is associated with, take a guess, what city? You got it. What is the great city that's referred to there? Oh, they use the code name Babylon, but it's clear, and all the church fathers agree, he's talking about the city of Rome. See Revelation 16, verse 19. Now, Paul, he taught that something was restraining the appearance of the Antichrist, but that when that thing would be removed, the Antichrist would appear. The early fathers, they were actually pretty unanimous that the restraining power was actually the Roman emperor himself. One of the fathers says that's why we should be praying for the government, so that that power is not removed. Add to that the claims of the Antichrist, which are considered as blasphemy. See Revelation 13, verse 6. And the Antichrist's authority associated with false and deceptive miracles, all of which serve to undergird his power and lead people to trust in him. You might think about like apparitions at Fatima. This is sort of talked about in Revelation 13, verse 13. The Bible also is clear that the Antichrist puts some of God's holy people to death with the sword. He takes the sword of the empire and he actually uses it for his own ends. You might think about the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre in France, the burning of the Lutheran martyrs in Brussels, or the assorted horrors of the Inquisition. Revelation 13, verse 7 describes the Antichrist turning his sword on God's holy ones. So I just ask you, who does all of that seem to fit when you study the history of the church? Sadly, the one clear answer is, well, it kind of matches the Pope of Rome, which, by the way, does not at all mean that any individual pope is to be thought of as the Antichrist, but that the office which they hold is anti-Christian in that it demands all people submit to its authority as the vicar of Christ on earth. That's what makes the office they hold controlled by the spirit of the Antichrist. Never forget that the bull of Boniface, Unum Sanctum, Boniface VI, issued in 1302, it is still standing. It says, furthermore, we declare, we proclaim, we define that it is absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature be subject to the Roman pontiff. That's Antichrist talk. For more information, check out our podcast on Revelation 13 and following, linked below.